Hey everyone, it's Timid Falconite, and I'm back with another episode of Road to 1.2K. And in today's episode, we're going to be covering this this Tier 4 fog match versus OJ. On the map Stitch Monster V2. Now, I think that's sort of interesting about Stitch Monster. It's got these here three black boats per side. Oh, actually, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, looks like there's actually been an update since I played the map. It's still in Global League, by the way, but and it's a pretty new map that Starflash made. And if you don't know who Starflash is, yeah, I don't know either. My memory is kind of foggy too on who Starflash is. Anyways, yeah, you've got the three black boats here on the map. On this replay, actually, these two black boats started on the cities, which I thought was an interesting little idea. Because it does give you the option of potentially having a black boat ferrying stuff around in this central area. But I'm going to be real. You're only ever going to want to use it from ferrying from this directly from this port to either this shoal or this shoal. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Without the Sami boost, you can do either one basically for free every day. So there's no real reason to pick Sami. I mean, maybe down here in this area, because you do have that guy who starts on the comm tower. And it's mainly, like, I mean, you can take it off, you can leave it on the comm tower if you want, but it's mainly just so that you have a black boat that you take to this, you send back to your base, and then it ferries infantry from this area over to this area, okay? Pretty simple. So, actually, a black boat sort of loop that I actually like for once. Nice and easy. Easy enough for even me to understand it, okay? So, pretty simple. You also have the black boats on the HQs so that you can't just walk up and do a Sami victory march to take it over. So, there's a reason why Sami's down at 47. Actually, 47 is better than I thought it would be on this map. Interesting. That's interesting. I think it might have to do a little bit with the black boat move in this area, because you do have to loop all the way around this way if you want to get to the black boat anywhere over here. So that could possibly have something to do with it. The other thing that it could have to do with is, well, you have this pipe seam. So, but before you blow up, the thing that I like about this pipe seam is it's, well, to start out with, at the beginning of the map, you have to ferry all of your vehicles through this tiny little choke point right here to begin with. So, at least until you blow up, open the pipe seam. So this is a map where you want to basically open artillery, because you got to open up a pipe seam, that opens up a second conduit for you to just send vehicles through. Mainly you tanks, because, like, Jess, 55%, right? Yeah, Jake's at 43, Adder's at 54, actually, not bad. Who else is in tier 4? I think it'll be just Grim, right? 46. 46 is actually better than I expected for Grim. But yeah, honestly, a bit more even than I would think, but actually it's mainly because probably there aren't that many games so far. Oh, actually, just looking at that, massive 3% second turn advantage already. So I'm not sure how balanced it is. And the reason for that, well, similar to last map, the reason why we have that second turn advantage, I think it was a second turn advantage on the last episode, is because you have the infantry that starts off pretty close to your second base. So you get, not only do you get the infantry, but you also get this base 1 turn earlier, so you start out with basically an extra 2 unit count to play around with. Yeah, it's a pretty small map as well. It's got a total of 12, 14, 16, 18, so 48, making this a total of 24. Actually, that's kind of a lot. Plus, it's 2 comm towers as well. So that's part of why Adder's actually pretty good, is because it's 2 comm towers, meaning he can just spam his little power, and he can wall break day-to-day even. So Adder, I think, is probably the best pick on this map just because of the 2 comm towers. But to be fair, the comm towers are a bit spread out. So, and they are both pretty contestable. This one maybe a little bit less so, but this one set of the comm towers is extremely contestable, seeing as you can just send the black boat out to here really easily, getting this, and then you got this black boat burying stuff over here, but also the vehicles are going to take... Well, actually, I feel like the vehicles from here are going to make it here pretty easily, actually. So maybe it's a little less contestable than I would think, but anyways. Lots of mountains for vision, meaning recons aren't necessarily required every day, but like, especially in these inner areas, you're going to want them if you want to head into this center area at all. Looks like most of the properties are 4 apart, so having a double time or a added little power to get you that extra point of move to capture chain is pretty good. But that's kind of it. I picked Jess because she's basically my tier 4 pick in Fog. I mean, pretty much the favorite to win right now. Adder's also really good on this map, though. Sami maybe a little bit less so because she can't just victory march onto the HQ and win. But that being said, it is 2 comm tower, and we're actually pretty far away from the bases here. So if Sami does get a victory march onto the comm towers, that could swing the game in her favor. There's also a bunch of properties here that she could just eat up pretty easily with that. And it is a pretty high income map, so having a victory march I feel like that's pretty good, especially considering it's a small-ish map. And I guess it's wide more than anything else, but it's pretty short. Like, one of these guys can go up and down pretty easily, so that should be it for all of the preview and analysis stuff, I guess. So let's just go ahead and get started with the replay. And yeah, so okay, that's fine. But yeah, obviously going for this right away, just getting these into position is good early on. Even if you're not going to be using it right away, you don't necessarily need to move them right away, but like, I'm just leaving them on the properties because I get more maneuverability later on, but I mean, obviously you're going to go for this later on, so there's not really much of a point to staying where you are. And yeah, going right across there is the best move here, mainly just to get to the comm towers early on, because there are a couple of properties that you can like capture chain a little bit over here from there. Plus, like, we're going to want to start ferrying infantry in this area to get a front line established over here to mirror what he's going to have on this side. And ideally, we're going to be just pushing that way, then maybe pushing a little bit this way, but mainly that way, and then just looping back where we need to. So the overall battle plan here. And as you can see here, my opponent's actually going to go ahead and maybe take care of it relatively soon. We'll see. As you can see here, I get a little bit of extra move with my infantry there. I guess we go there and then there, maybe. I got the artillery pretty early on because I want to blast this pipe seam open so that I can just bury units out this way, because otherwise this is just going to be an infantry base, and that's going to be not exactly that useful for me. Sami should open artillery as well, just because Sami artillery is not bad. Oh, opening mechs. Interesting. I don't agree with that at all, actually. Well, a mech from here isn't bad because you can just walk across the river and not get slowed down. You can go there, and then you have some mech support over here, so that's not like awful. But this guy, I don't know what you're thinking, because this is all sea, so this guy's gonna take forever to get to walk around here. So you should, and you need to blast this open at some point as well. So I think getting the artillery here would have been better, because he could have avoided that. Just already, I'm seeing an issue. Just a small minor issue though. It's not like that big of a deal. My income's a little bit higher already. Oh, I guess he's going to be bringing these down this way. Actually, I think that's fine then. Because if you want to start just marching your mechs across this way, like they're not going to be able to go for the black vote or anything, but yeah. I mean, it's not the worst move ever. I feel like infantry is probably better overall though. I guess the mechs are mainly to ward off a random recon, or tanks even, because Sami mechs are good against tanks. And you sort of want them in a pair, I guess, as well, so. I can see arguments for and against the tanks to start out with there. Going into the recon next is interesting, but he really should be getting an artillery to blow this stuff open, though, pretty quickly. As you can see here, I'm opening a tank here, so I'm going to be doing artillery plus tank into this to open this up a little bit easier. Is this down yet? Yeah, I already took one shot with the artillery. Next turn, I'm going to be able to get an artillery shot plus the tank shot, so it'll be gone next turn. And like, Sami doesn't have worse artillery, so I'm not sure why she's just going for it dead. But it looks like she's just doing the Sami spam, so the mech spam thing. I don't know if that's the greatest idea. To be fair though, he does have a lot of black boats. There are a lot of black boats in this map, so you can get away with mech spamming a little bit more than you would ordinarily. But I still don't think it's the best idea, because it is very vulnerable here. So we'll see in a second. So tank plus artillery blew that open. We got the recon now, plus another tank. So already I've got, as you can see here, I've got a vehicle base ready to move in, whereas my opponent's got a bunch of slow moving mechs. Now they'll be very good for a victory march later on, but I don't know. It is mech spam, and he's pouring them all into this black boat as well, it looks like. Okay, finally he's going for the artillery. And yeah, I'm being very conservative with my infantry, because they cannot win a fight against Sami infantry. No way in hell. That's never going to work out. So I'm being very conservative with my infantry in this area, keeping them in the forests. Just basically making sure that he doesn't try anything over here. And the other thing about Sami infantry is they are still vulnerable to first strikes. So, yeah, I think that like a couple more infantry in this area would be better than the mechs right now, because like although the mechs can take cities, but they are a little bit slower on the capture game front. Because as you can see, I'm already ahead of property over here, more or less. Like the infantry are just going to have so much more move. They have an extra 50% move compared to the mechs, so they're going to be able to just swarm this area. But he's just going to keep on going for the mech spam. Okay. And the other thing is he's splitting them up a little bit. That I don't like at all. Well, to be fair, they are guarding there a bit. But yeah. This could maybe be something that works sort of in standard, but not really in fog. And honestly, not really in standard. Sami definitely needs to build vehicles in order to be any use at all, and especially in fog. Mech spamming is a really bad idea. So I'm going for the cap there, partially to try and draw out the mech or whatever. Because I do have a couple of recons in this area that can just swarm the mech, and especially if it's like on the road, you can get a really nice first strike off there with the mech, with the recon, just a basic recon again. So going with the infantry, going with the mech too. See, that's what I was kind of hoping for. To an extent. So, oh, actually, he is in divergent range, so yeah, like, look at that. Completely demolished. The firepower isn't, like, the best onto this infantry, but, like, all I need to do is whittle it down a little bit. I don't need to, like, kill them. So, especially with the first strike into the undefended attacking positions as well is really nice here. Yeah, but I do have my tanks. I've got my arty in position to guard this capture, and this capture as well to an extent. But mainly to guard this capture. Okay, now he's starting to spam battlecopters a little bit. I'm getting a battlecopter or so of my own as well, but he's mainly going for, oh, his Blackblood actually just ran out of fuel there. That's really bad for him, actually. Like, you would think that he'd know to leave it on the harbor so that he can refuel, especially considering he's mech spamming and stuff, but that's really bad for him, actually. I didn't notice that the first time I played. That he didn't have a black boat up here, but I guess that might have helped me out a lot. That ended up helping out a lot, I'll bet. So yeah, he's moving in with the infantry there and the mechs as well. Moving a lot of them into vision range of my tank there. So I'm going, okay, at this point I'm saying, okay, I see all these idiot mechs, okay. I see your game plan at this point. So I blow that guy away. Move the recon there, which is within double time range of this guy, actually. But I'm kind of assuming we're not going to get to that point yet, so I take out that guy. Into a forest. I actually do a decent amount to that mech, I guess. Mainly because I would like to get to guard this tank as it goes for a shot into the infantry over here. Because I'm trying to go for that comm tower if I can. Take out one of his infantry there. I was going to try and go into the forest, but I got trapped, so that's not going to be great for me. Getting that first strike on the infantry with the tank is pretty good. I don't think that there's any way in hell that this ever eliminates the infantry outright, though. Well, actually, there's a decent shot of it, actually. So it's a roll. Never lucky, though, but whatever. Okay, that's actually not that bad with the recon, moving in to assist this infantry. And yeah, because we only have the one mech in this area, and because the mechs are moving so slowly, I've actually have free reign over this entire area up here, especially considering he doesn't have a black boat anymore. That was a massive mistake for my opponents. Is just losing the black boat for nothing. And yeah, since I'm noticing the copter spam a little bit, I'm going for anti-air now. So moving in with the recon there, actually taking out the infantry. Sami recon being useful for once. Taking out my infantry there, so The copter plus the mech actually able to take out the tank there. And his mech's doing marvelous work here, wrapping up my infantry. So well played with the copter there, but at the end of the day, I was moving a little bit aggressively in this area, so losing a tank and a couple infantry isn't the end of the world for me here. 7, okay. So he's going to be able to take that out with the mech. Got it. Oh, he did take it out with the battlecopter, looks like. Okay. So now he's going to be able to move in with the medium tank at this point. I think that I was looking at the health on this thing, and I was assuming he had a medium tank or something in the works. So, yeah, there goes the mech. And now, as you can see, I'm actually being very aggressive with the capping here. And I'm actually able to take out... yeah, that guy traps me, actually, unfortunately, but... Like, I've got one property confirmed. This property probably next turn. Like, I have such free reign in this area because his black boat died. So, despite losing all of that infantry in this area, I'm still looking fine. And I do have the artillery here, so that if he goes for this property, with the mechs, it's gonna take I'm gonna take at least a bite out of him, right? I'm not gonna let him take it for free. He takes a chunk out of my recon there, so I'm going to end up losing it to the infantry here, unfortunately. But I was able to see all of this mechs and stuff that he had in this area, so not the end of the world for me. Yeah, and he's going to just keep on swarming me in this area. I believe this mech is at half health at this point. But yeah, whatever. I keep the recon alive here, looks like. Okay, not quite. 4 infantry are able to finally take out my recon there. How much did it start off at this turn? 7 health? Like, that's Sami's firepower right there coming in clutch. Like, that's crazy amount of firepower. But to be fair, it is just infantry, and they did weaken themselves a good amount, so I feel like overall I'm still doing pretty well. Plus, I'm capping all of these properties, like 1, 2, 3 I've weaponed this turn, so. And also seeing the mechs here, I'm going anti-air, I'm going battlecopter, but I'm also thinking saving up for the Neo tank, which I'm going to be giving out this next turn, just because of all the mechs. Because I just don't want to deal with the mechs. Yeah, going for the comm tower up there. Getting a first strike against, and actually taking out that infantry this time, getting lucky this time. Very nice. Putting my tanks on the important properties here so that it's a little bit more difficult for him to just walk over and take them. Sort of possibly entertaining that my opponent will go for a double time this next turn, but not necessarily expecting it. He's able to see everything here, so taking out that cap, getting a good first strike against my artillery, but not quite taking it out. I'm assuming this is... Oh yeah, no, that's... He actually got a lucky roll there, getting it down to 1. But since it's an artillery, I can just bring it back and it'll be fine to keep on shelling later on. He's keeping his medium tank out of vision range of my tanks for the time being. Looks like he's keeping his battlecopters and stuff out of my vision range as well, which is, I think that's pretty important for him to do. Okay, but I see all this stuff, so I'm going, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the recon for free. I see the artillery, so I'm like, damn it, there goes my tank, right? But I take out that infantry for free, and then I go, you know what, let's go for the turbocharge, especially since I see this medium tank now. So I'm going, okay, I can take out this mech maybe? Not quite, unfortunate. But with the help of this infantry plus this recon, I'm able to move in with the tank here and get a good first strike, actually taking out the artillery and tire there. So sort of salvaging this area. Unfortunately, there are 2 battlecopters plus a medium tank plus a tank in range right now, so that's not going to be the greatest here, but you know what? It'll end up being fine. So getting some very good first strikes here, just eliminating most of his mechs outright. Now this guy's going to be able to cap this property next turn if he wants, so like whatever, but I am starting to move in my battlecopters north to deal with his battlecopters. So overall, not bad. He had 34 units at the start of his last turn, and here comes the Neo tank finally. Plus an extra tank. And he's down to 28. So 28, 35, as you can see here, I've kind of demolished his unit value at this point. Also have 28,000 funds at this point per turn, just because I've been able to win the capture game over here. Partially, probably, because he just lost his black boat for nothing, which is really unfortunate for him. I want to see, did that give him charge? I don't think it did. Nope, no charge, so that's really unfortunate for him. Yeah, so let's just go back to where we were at. So that was a decent push with the turbocharge. The important thing for me, at least, is well, this guy is gonna cap I'm gonna cap this next turn if he doesn't. Actually, I've got this guaranteed no matter what next turn. Plus, I'm gonna start capping this guy. So all in all, I think he's in a really bad position at this point. He's gonna flip this property. He's gonna flip this property. So that's like he's gonna put a dent into this, but I'm still gonna be ahead like 4-5K per turn. So that's not gonna be great for him. He's actually swarming me with his mechs at this point, which is very good. He takes out a lot of my crap, actually. Which isn't great, but I can afford it. Honestly, I can afford it, so it was a very good push in retaliation for him. Plus, he didn't use up his power stuff yet. But because it is fog, I'm able to move in like that, using my artillery here as a scout to get rid of his mech. And like, look at his mechs present in this area too. It's all just out of position and stuff. It's no longer in one unified front since it took such a beating from my push earlier. Yeah, so I take out the stuff over here, get a good first strike here, take out the infantry, start capping there, and yeah, I move down here because I'm not sure if he has anything in this area, but I don't want to chance it, so I want to make sure that I keep my comm tower. Kind of assuming that he's going to be able to take this property, but again, looking at this, I'm above par still, so overall not like bad at all for me. Then I fall back here actually a little bit because I know he has the medium tank over here. I know he's going to have a lot of infantry moving around here. So I sort of want to make sure that I keep my infantry presence in this area, leaving them sort of under the defensive, possibly preventing stuff from a victory march. I think I'm going to move these guys, yeah, moving them onto the cities so that he can't just march in and take them. So get to there. Honestly, he should probably, well, it's honestly, to be fair, getting these free kills isn't necessarily bad for him because like he doesn't necessarily know whether he wants to go for the victory march or not this turn. Right, so takes out that guy, sees this wide open, so I'm assuming he's going to be waiting a turn possibly to pop it, or he could just pop it now. We'll see what he wants to do, but it looks like no, he's just lining up for next turn. It looks like. Okay. Unfortunately for him, That's going to allow me to make a pretty good push this next turn. So I'm blocking actually with my artillery here. Sort of funny. And then I'm falling back with most of my stuff over here. Guarding this city with the tank, so he'll need to expend his mech moves in order to deal with that. Which he can do. He can do that with these mechs. He can take out the tank and grab this and flip this city. But like, as you can see here, he might just end up losing as many as he ends up taking next turn. Which is sort of what I want. Got a second Neo tank moving in to back up my first one. He's got 2 medium tanks, so like Sami medium tanks versus just Neo tanks. Who do you think is gonna win? Main reason I'm going for the Neo tanks is because like. Well, let's do on the road, right? So this is what mechs do to medium tanks. This is what they do to Neo tanks. So actually, it's the same amount. You know, to be fair, I should probably just have gone for the medium tanks, maybe. Because it looks like they do take the same amount from the mechs. That's something I did not know. Maybe I should have done that instead of saving up for these Neo tanks. But the move's good on them, and they hold up better to battlecopter fire. At least a little slightly, marginally better. And I can afford them, which is the important part. Plus, I've got the unit count anyways for now, so... Yeah, as you can see here, he's able to take out my tank there and flip that city. He's actually going to be able to interrupt this cap, unfortunately. He's going to flip that one as well. Interrupt that cap, take out my infantry there. Get a strike in with his recon, actually. But like here, he should be able to get, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you should be able to get one of these as well with that other mech. So you're just gonna move in and take that. So very good flipping on his part actually this turn. I think he's made it go back to about par in everything except for the firepower. I'm still holding on to this comm tower up here for the time being. But very good push from my opponent this turn with his superpower. So well played by him. Unfortunately, I've got a turbocharge in the back. Plus, I'm going to be able to have another one pretty quickly as well. I've got another one basically ready for next turn. So just going to move in and destroy shit. So taking out the guy there. The anti-air, actually, I feel like... Oh, actually, no, it's because I had just enough movement to grab him with that. So I just do that. Finish off that tank. Finish off that infantry. Take out that tank entirely, actually. Got another Neo tank moving in to back up my first one. Moving in with the tank, moving with all these battle copters. And overall, I'm looking pretty good here, actually, honestly. Overall. Because I've got battlecopter to sweep up these infantry in this area. He's spamming anti-air a little bit, because he's recognizing that I've got the battlecopters moving in now, but, like, it's not going to end up being the craziest thing. He is able to take out my Neo tank here, actually. But unfortunately for him, he did move his medium tank into position of my Neo tanks, so I'm going to be able to do something really funny on next turn. Especially considering I do have a couple of battlecopters to just toss out if I need to. But yeah, I get that relatively lucky engagement there. Get a good shot off there. Basically take out his anti-air there. Basically take out his entire medium tank there even. Take out finish it off with that tank there. Get a really good shot off on his artillery now that I've spotted it. Start capping there so that he has to divert something to interrupt that. And then just moving in with my other stuff still. And we're at par. And I am actually potentially down a little bit in unit value. Well, actually, no. I'm not going to be down in unit value. So this is where we're at. 25.34. I'm up basically 2 turns worth of income. He's got nothing in this area, basically, but I'm being kind of conservative with my battlecopter here. Because, like, honestly, I just need to support anyone that I'm moving in with over here, so not that crazy even. He's got nothing that he can do against this. He's got like nothing he can do to this Neotank at this point now. So unfortunately for him, I'm gonna just slaughter all of his mechs with it, basically. Notice I'll be able to. So this next turn, I just move in with the anti-air, finish off that B-copter. Take out the anti-air for free with the Neotank, because, like, may as well. See this other artillery, so I pop turbocharge even, so that I can take out the artillery with infantry attacks from Jess, because it's funny. Take out half a mech there with the infantry, which isn't bad. Chip down his medium tank as well. Finish off of that recon. And yeah, because he's lost so much since he last popped his victory march, he does have another one ready at this point. But it looks like he doesn't even have anything in position here to move in here. I was kind of expecting him to have something in the fog ready to pounce on my comm tower, but I guess it ended up being a little bit, I was being a little bit conservative maybe even over here with the black boat, which I stand by as well. I cannot, it would be really bad for me to lose my comm tower, you know. And I'm actually pretty close to getting another turbocharge next turn if I want it to. So it takes out a couple of my small tanks. Okay, whatever. Like, I've got enough stuff in this area that that's not going to end up mattering. And he's down to 20 units at this point too. So I'm able to just move in here, finish off the mech, actually just take it out, take out a mech with the Neotank. That's part of why I have a Neotank, actually, is to just take out mechs. Like, medium tank can do that. Especially since I've got 3 comm towers, but with 2 comm towers, it actually does become a little bit sketchy, especially if they're on, like, a city. So Neotank is able to just waltz right through the mechs. So, like, look at that firepower, dude. It's insane at this point, just swarming him. Join cat there, finish off the battlecopter with the infantry there. Kind of expecting a cheeky victory march here as well. Like, actually, he would be able to just victory march onto this comm tower, but at this point, I feel like I've got enough of a lead that I don't need to worry about it. Plus, I'd be able to capture it back pretty quickly as well, since I've got battlecopters in the back here. Looks like he's not going for the victory march though, because I think he's not really going to be able to get much out of it, as I think would be his idea here. But yeah, his medium tank's really weak at this point. He's got rocket missiles there. Takes out my poor artillery that I managed to heal all the way back to full health, which is unfortunate, but oh well. It's just an artillery. Like, I've got plenty of stuff to just wipe out his crap with at this point. So I just pop turbocharge again. Looks like I'm really close to another one, actually. So yeah, just keep on doing what I've been doing. As you can see here, since it's down to like half health, the medium tank isn't really doing much in response to my tank here. So getting rid of that guy. Capping here. ignoring this entirely, actually, but I'm going to be able to flip this next turn too. And yeah, as you can see here, we're actually getting even another Neo tank coming out now, so he's still fighting though, so, well, at least a little bit. I say as he resigns. Okay, so I think my opponent's biggest mistake in this match was picking Sami, because while Sami is really good in standard, like as you could see here, well, actually, to be fair, that wasn't their biggest mistake. I could see picking Sami and Fogs. Sami and Fogs isn't like that bad. When you're against Jess, it's like, okay, it sucks, but you can deal with it to an extent as long as you play properly with your vehicles and stuff. The mech spam, no, that wasn't good at all. Cause like, okay, what Sami can do in Fog is like sneak up on you with her mechs, have a nice big mech blob just coming in, and then you're like, oh shit, there's a mech blob. Okay, what are you doing? There's a mech blob. You back off. You back off, and then you just start spamming battlecopters and Neo tanks where you can to deal with it, because they don't really take that much damage from the mechs. Like medium tanks even are good against them. Anti-air are also really good. You go for the extra firepower where you can get it. I think him not paying attention to the fuel on his black boat was another really big mistake, because it stopped him from reinforcing this zone here, which let me take it pretty easily. Like I was able to just walk up with my infantry, basically, and yoink it. With fucking just infantry of all things, too. Like, yeah. Had he had... Excuse me. Oh, okay. Yeah, but had he been able to keep on ferrying his mechs over with the black boat, like, this would not have happened. He would have been fine here. He would have been able to keep the firepower stalemate going for a while there. He was actually doing like, yeah, like right here, he was basically neck and neck with me, especially after I did this massive push here that got completely destroyed. Like, to be fair, I did do a couple pushes that were maybe not really cost effective, but I had so much of an income lead for so long because I was able to just take this area for free. And he didn't really push in this area that effectively either, because he had mechs and they're slow. They can't, like, one of the greatest things about Sami infantry is they still have free move. They can capture things really quickly. Like, you don't really need this many mechs in this area, because like all that it does is make me turn up the battlecopter spam, turn up the heavy vehicle spam, just tech up. And you don't want your opponent to do that when you're playing Sami. You sort of want them to stay with just low-level tanks, basically, where you can. No real, like, battlecopters or whatever. But yeah. I respect the Sami pick, to be honest, but it was not meant to be. Yeah, so actually let's go to where it is in the playlist, because yeah, 117080, then like OJ isn't a bad player. It's just he picked a bad CO for that map, I think. Let's see, does he pick? Okay, looks like he's doing Jake there. Well, Sami obviously on this one, because Sami. But I picked Sami on that map. Like, she's that good on that one. That's tier 1. The one I beat him on. Looks like he... Okay, that's tier 1. I'm looking for fog games to see if he goes Sami, because Sami isn't even that bad on tier 4 fog. It's just she gets outclassed a lot in a lot of these matches. I'm assuming he went for her because of the black boats. So the extra movement there, like it doesn't end up coming into play really, except for that one that he lost. That was really unfortunate for him. But yeah, 11:33 is where I'm at the end of this episode, so that's it. If you enjoyed, do go ahead. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, I think, is gonna be, yeah, it'll be High Funds, Von Bolt versus Max on this guy, I think. If I have it. I might not have the map, but if I do, this is what it's gonna be. Well, the match recorded. Anyways, if you enjoyed, please go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe and all that other nonsense, and I will see you guys in the next one.